I was like, well, at least I'll get my $400 back.
I'm living my scrub life.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I know I've been MIA for a while, and let me tell y'all, I have been going through it, okay? So first I had to like prepare for my move from my old apartment to my current apartment. Then in that process, I got really sick. So I was on the sick and shut in list for a couple of days. Then once I moved into my new apartment, I had to get my wisdom teeth removed. And I'm thinking the recovery process is gonna be quick, but of course it took me longer than usual to recover. But it's cool because I'm back, I'm better, we here, we doing this, and you know, we're gonna get it done. So this video is going to be about how I studied and prepared for the Nclex. For those who don't know, the Nclex is the licensure exam that student nurses have to take after they graduate college in order to get their RN license. So the resource that I used was the Hurst review, and I briefly mentioned the Hurst review in previous videos, but today's video is going to be like a more in-depth and more like detailed explanation of how I broke down the content and how I studied for the Hurst review. So if you guys are interested in learning more about the Hurst review and what it consists of and how I studied for the Nclex, stay tuned. So as we know, I struggled a little bit in nursing school, and as I was approaching graduation and starting this new chapter in my life, I knew that I needed to pass the Nclex, but I didn't know how I was going to do that. So my friend in the nursing program, he actually suggested the Hurst review to me, and I was like, oh, I've never heard of the Hurst review. Let me see like what it is. So of course, as I'm researching the Hurst review, other Nclex prep review courses populate as well, such as Kaplan and UWorld, but I end up sticking to the Hurst review because when I went to the site, there were so many great reviews about how people passed the Nclex on their very first try and how the Hurst review made nursing school make sense. And I was like, yes, this is what I need. This is what I've been waiting for. Please, sign me up immediately. So I signed up for the Hurst review. So how the Hurst review is set up is they give you 3 different options to choose from. One option is the in-class review, another option is video streaming, and the third option is videos only. Now I'm not sure what like the live streaming or videos only options are or what they really consist of because I chose to do the in-class review. I do know everyone has access to the same information being that Hurst review booklet, which is that thick booklet that will hold all of your information and study material in it. I don't have my booklet on me right now, but if you like Google it, I'm sure it'll pop up of like what it looks like. Also practice questions, practice exams, and videos that everyone has access to on their Hurst review account to use as a point of reference. So I did the in-class review, and that cost $400. And another reason that I chose the Hurst review was because they tell you on the website that if you don't pass your Nclex on the very first try, that you get your money refunded. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, if I don't pass the Nclex, at least I get my money back and I get to study more for it, I guess. I don't know. How the in-life review is set up is it's a course of like 3 or 4 days, and each session is like 7 or 8 hours. While in that session, you are surrounded by your peers, and there is a Hurst review professional proctoring the classroom. So what you're doing while that Hurst review person is talking is you are pretty much filling in the blank of the answers in the workbook. And sometimes the person will be talking, or sometimes there'll be like videos playing just to give the class like a more like interactive feel to it so you don't get like bored. Either way, no matter how you're interacting, you're filling in the blank on that workbook because that is how you're going to be studying for the Nclex. That is all the information you need to prepare you for the Nclex. So I told myself as soon as the review was over, I was going to hit the ground running with studying, and that's exactly what I did. So I think I gave myself like the rest of the day to like chill and relax after the review course was over, but the day after I started studying. So here's how I started studying for the Nclex. In the Hurst review, it is divided into different topics. So like I know the first topic is fluids and electrolytes. You have cardiovascular, you have psychology, you have OB, you have pediatrics. Pretty much everything that you learned in nursing school is right there in that book, but it is divided into like the topic. So what I did was I would look to see how many pages each section consisted of, and based on those number of pages, I would give myself a number, like however many days that I thought I needed to study for that section. For example, let's say fluids and electrolytes are 10 pages of information to study. So I would give myself like 3 or 4 days to study the information, review the information, apply the information, know the information. So, and then after that, I would tell my friend to like quiz me. And if I needed more help, I would be like, okay, cool, Imani, you need to work on knowing this about potassium, or you need to work on knowing this about calcium. So then I would give myself an extra day to review those little tidbits and move on to the next section. So then let's say that the cardiovascular section is 30 pages long. Then I would give myself more days to study that particular topic. So pretty much what I did is based on the number of pages that each topic consisted of, I tried to like give myself a range of how many days that I needed to spend learning that topic or learning that material. So eventually it got to a point where I would be so like deep in the book or far in the book that I would like tell my coworkers like, hey, ask me anything from page 1 to page 92, anything. And like I would tell them about it. So what I would do was, because they were not in the healthcare field, is if they could understand what I was saying and like really get like a general grasp of what was going on, that was confirmation for me that I knew the material, that I knew that I was talking about, that I understood, and that I could really go on and study the next topic. So I pretty much did that my whole time studying for the Nclex. I studied for the Nclex from the beginning of May to the beginning of July. And the week before my Nclex, I did not want to spend that time studying. I wanted to be strictly reviewing content and information. It's so funny because one of my friends helped me study so much that it got to a point where, now she's a psychology major, it got to the point where she would ask me something and I would tell her, and she would be like, Monty, that don't sound right. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so crazy like how much you've been helping me, because she started like really learning the information too. But yeah, like I said, once I would like get like the topics down or like whatever section down, then I would be like, okay, review this for me. And then like once I got a general or like a very like good understanding of the material, then I'll be like, okay, you can ask me anything. Just because too, it's like good to like refresh yourself and like stay on top of the information so you don't forget anything, so you're not spending the week before the Nclex freaking out being like, oh my gosh, I forgot this content, you know. So the day of the Nclex comes for me to take it, and I'm actually very confident. And let me tell you, me being confident taking a test in nursing school, very rare. So it comes time for me to take the Nclex, and how the Nclex is set up is the minimum amount of questions they can ask you is 75, and the maximum is 265. So you don't know what or how many questions you're going to have until the computer screen just cuts off on you. So people can pass the test at 75, they can fail it at 123, they can fail it at 75, they can pass it at 135. I had the pleasure of having all 265 questions on the Nclex because that's my life. So I was in the Nclex for 5.5 hours taking that exam. Of course, anxiety was major because when I first started taking the test and reading these questions, I felt like I didn't know anything. I felt like I had never seen this material before. I was like, where is this coming from? Great. I was like, well, at least I'll get my $400 back. When I got to question like 210, that's when I really knew that I was going to have all 265 questions. So I was like, you know what, it is what it is. Just do your best. So I finished taking my Nclex, and you don't find out the results until like 2 days later. So of course, for those 2 days, I'm just like living in complete like, what am I gonna do? What did I pass? Did I not pass? So looking back, I was saying that I didn't like know the information really, or I was thinking that I didn't know the information, but the Hurst review really like prepared me in ways that I didn't even know that I was being prepared for. And it really did make nursing school make sense. And even though they just gave me like a lot of general information about different topics, I was able to apply that information to my test questions and ultimately pass my test. So I'm very thankful for the Hurst review. I enjoyed the review. I would definitely recommend it to other people, but I will also say that do your research on the different like review prep courses that you want or that you like have seen, because what works for me may not work for everybody else. So definitely do your research before signing up for something, because like I said, everyone has a different preference. All right, guys, that was my take on the Hurst review. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. In the meantime, I'll see you guys next video. Bye, guys.